To a song.
I know the system. I know the
Oh, you know Sister Bettina. Hey, what now? Hi guys, welcome to another episode. Welcome back to another episode of This Should Bother You. Not with Joas and Babak, with Phateka and Sahar.
Yes.
Thanks so much. We thought we'd give you guys the treat of enjoying us for a little bit of the show. So, well, what's been bothering you this week? You know what, actually? Mudim?
I burnt my mustache. Sorry.
Why are you trying to drink tea with this thing?
What's been bothering me?
Yes. Actually, should I start with me?
You
because
should start,
I'm Halloweening.
Yes, you should start.
Okay, then ask me then.
What's been bothering you?
Sorry, you see now I'm getting confused between my characters. Now my accent's going in and out between me and Joas. I'm having an identity crisis.
You're both. Embrace it.
Okay. What's been bothering Phateka this week? Guys, it's Halloween. Yes, that's actually. And listen, I don't want to sound like a hater. I want everyone to have their fun. You can clearly see I'm not too serious of a human being. However, I don't like how this place forces us to partake in Halloween, even if we don't want. Like, oh my gosh, it's everywhere. Everyone's houses are all decked up, and that's fine. It's your house. I can't tell you what to do with your house. But you go to work, and then everything's all decked up, which I'm like, it's fine. Some people find it fun. This is okay. Now you have dress-up contests. We're having a dress-up situation at work, and now I feel pressured to get dressed up, even though I don't like getting dressed up, because I don't want people to think that I'm like a party pooper, and I'm new at this place. Do you know what I mean? Now I'm stressed.
That sounds like a very stressful situation for Patty. I'm not going to lie to you. That is quite a stressful situation. Because, yeah.
But genuinely, like, on a serious note, that's a thing that, like, I guess, like, on the whole topic of, like, moving and, like, being assimilated to places is, like, you kind of have to decide how you want to adapt to, like, you see you and this beard that you keep burning. You have to decide what, like, cultural norms and practices you want to participate in versus those you don't. But you just know that those you don't come at the cost of, like, you being excluded or you people perceiving you to be, like, holier than thou. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not that. I don't want.
It's okay. Today you acted like Joas.
Can I just take a picture of this, send them and be like, look, I swear to God, I'm not boring. I just don't want to spend 8 hours on my day. Can you imagine 8 hours with this mustache on my face?
No, no. I'm sorry, how are you supposed to go into meetings looking like that?
Do you get my point?
I'm struggling to look at her.
And Friday's in an office day. And we actually have team-wide meetings.
Guys, unless there's multiple alcohol drinks in front of us, I don't think I can do a couple hours like this.
Like this?
Yeah. Oui.
Oh, and yeah. Anyways, guys. So that's what's been bothering me this week is spooky season. I think also, like, I'm scared of horror movies.
Yeah.
And all the ads have horror movies. Oh, that's another thing. You watch on Hulu, every ad is everything is scream, everything's scary, everything's blood, everything, and I'm like, So it really has been bothering me.
Quite stressful.
And again, I don't want you guys to think I don't want you to have your Halloween and have your fun. Have your fun, but can we not be involved, please? Thank you so much. What has been bothering you this week, Chomi?
What's been bothering me? My God, I hope my parents don't watch this episode. Actually, you know what? It's okay. They won't take it seriously because I'm just like this. But what's been stressing me is I don't think I'm heard. I don't think I'm people. I don't think my parents listen when I say, oh, this. I think this is appropriate. I think this is better. I think I would like this instead of this. I think they try to provide the things that they think are best for me. But sometimes they aren't the best for me. And for example,
Hello?
they have I don't have a flight home at the moment.
Oh.
And that very stressed me out. And then they called me and they're like, we have surprise. I'm like, oh my gosh, what's the surprise? They're like, we got you business class tickets. I'm like, what? Oh my gosh, business? Are you sure? With what? Which credit card? Because, and they were like, no, we got you business, but we don't know if it's 100%. Oh, I'm like, okay, but I have a flight. You just don't know if the business is 100%. She's like, no, we just don't know if the flight is 100%.
Amen. Hallelujah.
I said, Mommy, what do you mean? She said, this is a great opportunity. They're called standby, Mommy. It's quite good. A lot of people use it. I'm like,
That's another thing I learned of only when I came to America. Is standby flights. They clearly have it in the UK. Guys, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I don't think we have standby flights in South Africa, hey? I only came to know standby in the US. That it's a thing. That you can go all the way to the airport. You can pack all your luggage. You can do everything for a chance to fly. It's not guaranteed. You don't actually have a ticket. Because
you know, it's. I'm very grateful for everything my parents do for me, even the things I'd never asked for. It's okay. I know they do it because they love me, but you know, I think being very homesick and wanting to go home and be with my friends and my family has been something I've been looking forward to for a minute. So for the fact that this is not guaranteed, this flight is making me very stressed.
don't worry. It'll be sorted.
It'll be sorted, but I am going to, if worst case scenario, I'll get it myself, as I should, as I'm a grown woman now. My parents no longer need to get flight tickets for me. I have finished my education in May. We're working full-time soon. So, no more part-time. So, I can do it. But it's just the communication and I like, you know what they do, my parents? They try to like make everything look, it's going to be so fine, it's going to be so glamorous. You don't need to know the information, because if you find out the information, you're going to kill us.
I feel like parents do that though. Like
They
parents
do that so
protect,
much.
but I think that's I don't think it's a harmful thing. I think parents intentionally decide which information to give us and which to not give us as to protect us in a way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they won't tell us about like certain bills or certain struggles, or because they just want us to have the perception that they got it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is like, so I think if I was a parent, I'd do the same thing ish, of like I'm not gonna tell my kids if I sacrifice this to take them to school. Do you know what I mean? Like it's like your stress should just be going to school, you know?
Literally. No, actually.
But this actually does segue very well into the conversation we're going to have. However,
we're going to get dressed again.
Because we think we've entertained you guys enough.
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome.
We're back, guys.
We're back.
Looking more normal.
The actual host of the show now. We
Yes.
hope you were entertained. We hope so.
We hope so.
We might even put some little clips of the uncles in between this episode, so stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
You don't
Jade,
know
our
what's-
editor, is going to have a fantastic time.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. And they told us to tell you that if you don't like, comment, subscribe, they're not going to come back.
Yeah,
So you have to engage with us. Even you on Spotify, I don't think you can get away. In fact, if you're on Spotify, my dear, I feel like you're going to have to pause there, go to YouTube just to see the entertainment.
Yes.
And then you can go back to Spotify and follow the show. How about that one? But anyways, now that we are back in our present day selves.
Yes.
We were obviously dressed like uncles, as you could see, and that kind of inspired us to want to talk about family.
Yes.
And our childhoods and how they have shaped the woman who you see today. So I guess just starting us off, like, how would you characterize your childhood?
My childhood, nostalgic.
Mm-hmm.
I think in my childhood, I always remember when I think about my childhood, I think about it split in a way, because half of it, or some of it, I was in Iran, and then some of it I was in the UK. But the most enjoyable parts of my childhood was when I was basically surrounded by a lot of people, a lot of family members. When we moved to the UK, it was a bit stressful. I mean, it got better a little bit, but just little moments with my mom, my brother.
When you moved to
and
the
all of that.
UK, did you guys already have family there?
No.
So it was just you?
We did have one of our cousins that was there, who got married to like a European woman and stuff like that, but it was basically us, yeah.
So now, because now you have like quite a lot of family there.
Oh,
Did
yeah.
they come like over
After.
the years?
Yeah. So like people started migrating slowly, like maybe just before COVID.
Oh, that's recent.
Just before COVID. But you know, like it was one of my cousins, then it was my other cousin, then his wife, then they had kids, then one of my other cousins came, then the Saba came, then the other cousin came.
And slowly,
Slowly,
the
then
Gorishis took over
yeah,
London.
literally, like now, like I moved here. Literally, we moved. Well, Milton Keynes specifically. Wow, my family loves moving to Milton
Saba
Keynes.
used to live in Milton Keynes.
She
Yeah?
still does.
Ah.
Yeah, and then my other cousin, and then her dad now. Like everyone's. I love it. I love it so much. Occupied spaces. But here, even like my cousin moved here from Iran as well to California, so I really do feel less alone because people are like, yeah, getting the fuck out of Iran. So, but my childhood, lonely but full at the same time because it was split. But I think my mum plays such a big part of how I see my childhood.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. There's this picture of like Sahar's nursery that we saw, and like her mom, while she was pregnant, painted it with like Winnie the Pooh.
You saw that?
It's so beautiful.
Where did you see that?
I don't remember if you showed me or your mom showed me.
I think my mum probably showed
It
you.
was so lovely, and I was like, because Sahar obviously is really good at drawing, and I was like, I see where you get it from. But that's lovely. How would I characterize my childhood? Honestly, fun. Like, I did a lot of things in my childhood. Like, I still do a lot of things, but like, I did a lot of things then, and I think like fun. And I don't have a childhood that I remembered being boring. I feel like I was always entertained either by other people or by myself. I also can relate to I grew up around a lot of family. We were always with like cousins and aunts and uncles, and like especially like mom's side of the family, like she grew up in a house with like all of her cousins, so like we were always having sleepovers with either her siblings or cousins. Somebody was always around us, okay? Somebody was always around me. So I think when I think of my childhood, I think of family. I think of being surrounded by so many people, to the point where like when I was in like, I think I must have been in like 4th grade, and I was starting at a new school and people were getting to know me, and this one girl asked me, she's like, how many people are there in your family? And I was like, I don't know. I looked at her and I was like, I don't know. And she's like, what do you mean you don't know? And I'm like, I was really stressed out. And then she's like, no. Like, okay, how many people are in your house? And I was like, right, that's what you meant. But that's not the entirety of my family. So like from day one, I'd always had a very expansive idea and understanding of what family is.
Yeah.
And it's only when I grew up and became more acquainted and like more like westernized spaces or different who have different racial and cultural backgrounds that I was like, oh, like when people say like, what's your family, they thinking like mom, dad, siblings, and you. They're not thinking cousin, auntie, grandma, uncle who could also be father figure. You know what I mean? They're not thinking about that.
A lot of like, I don't know who was asking you, but I've noticed a lot of like European like white families, it's a very nuclear.
Yeah, she was a white girl.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because like
they're very nuclear family focused.
Yeah, no, one day I was at my auntie's house, one day I was at my grandma's house,
literally
one day I was at my uncle's house.
Literally sleep anyway. You will fall asleep.
And oh my god, it was so much fun. Oh, so much fun.
See, that's why fun is also what came to mind for me, because I just feel like it's fun to be surrounded by so many different people. There's always people to play with. There's always things to do. Do you know what I mean?
No, specifically from the ages of like 5 to like 9, 10.
Yeah.
Wow.
So much fun. Like
so much
genuinely,
fun.
I think about like a lot of fun. I think about travel as well, because those who know me will know I still love travel and I still do it a lot. But literally, it started from my childhood. Like my parents always loved traveling, and like road trips have always been a thing in our lives. Flights have been a thing in our lives. My first time that I can remember flying by myself, I was 6 years old. I flew as an unaccompanied minor from Johannesburg to Port Shepstone to visit an aunt of mine. That was and I can remember that. And I was like, so like genuinely, and I remember like my mom and I went to like Zanzibar together for her birthday, so I missed like school that week. And then my mom and dad and I went to America when I was like 11. So like, you know what I mean? Like I have a lot of travel memories. I have a lot of fun memories. I have a lot of school memories. I also did a lot of school because my parents worked. So I think it actually worked in everybody's favor that I was such a busy bee at school. Do you know what I mean? Because I wasn't just like chilling at home waiting for someone to come home. Like I did swimming, I did tennis, I ran. Guys, we're not going to go through the list of things that I did. So a lot of different ways in which I would characterize my childhood. And what would you say is like, what are things from your childhood that you want to emulate in, like, if you were to raise kids, or even if you were to be an aunt to children, that you would like any kids that you want around you, you're like, I hope you have this from my childhood, and I hope you don't have this.
I think the way I was raised, the way me and my brother were raised, was with a lot of like abundance with love, and like motivation. Like my parents always set high standards for us. Like they never made me feel like, oh no, this is the most you can do in life. Like that's it. They always said you need to be the best of the best. Was it pressurizing at times, especially moving from like Iran, where I was only speaking Farsi, and I didn't like my spelling still to this day. English is it's not good, because moving and stuff, it did that, and I'm still like not the best with like my spelling, or I'm not the best with maths. And I think my parents were like, doesn't matter, you need to work way more, 10 times harder, because you need to be the best of the best. And they always said like, you can be whoever you want, do whatever you want, just be successful. So but I was around people who never really, they had a limit. They had like a ceiling for themselves, and it's just like, no, there's no ceiling, just keep going. And I think I really appreciated that for my parents.
They were dreamers, and they wanted you
They
to be
were
a dreamer.
dreamers. And my dad specifically, he went through a lot. Like he got divorced, like he went bankrupt, like he went through a lot, but he started again, like started from zero multiple times, not even twice. I'm sure there's ones that I'm not remembering, but my dad had hit rock bottom a couple of times and then restarted his life. And I think that also has put a lot of motivation in me and Sahan's. So I would like to teach that to my nieces and nephews. I mean, and I will. I mean, I do have nieces and nephews. Hopefully I'll get to spend more time with them. And but I'm also seeing that in some of like my nieces and nephews. Like one of my nephew who's like graduated and like from law, like he did his masters in law and everything. Like he's doing so well, and I'm just like, I feel like I'm seeing like the Garishi side, like my dad's side, like the proper motivational side. He keeps going, and I'm so proud of him, and I can't wait to see him to like tell him that. I think I would instill that into my kids and my nieces and nephews. It's just like, keep going. There's no ceiling.
I love that.
Yeah. What about you?
I think similarly, I was also raised to believe that you can do anything, but whatever you do, do it well.
Wow.
My parents are very much of the whatever you do, do it well. Even when we were like, and I remember when I was like 16 and we were having a conversation of like, university, what are you gonna study, where are you gonna go, blah 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 blah. And I was really split, guys. I was literally like, I could either study like film and creative arts, or I could be a doctor. I literally job shadowed both. I job shadowed a production company for a week, and then I job shadowed a neurosurgeon for a week, because I was like, I don't know. And my parents were just like, whatever you want to do. African parents believe in education more than anything, guys. They were like, cool, you can't just do an undergrad degree, you have to do an honors degree. Because at that point in time, they were trying to give me a competitive edge. So they always had that thing of like, what could make you exceptional in comparison to other people, in a way. Yeah. So they were like, do whatever you want, but just study it to the kind of fullest, in a way, which is kind of tricky in this day and age with like the arts, because obviously education is not what people look for when they are trying to hire you to produce something, to direct something, But I think they just wanted, they didn't want anyone to have a reason to call me unqualified. Do you know what I mean? So, but still that thing of like, you can do whatever though. Hence I have like, I mean, she knows I did an undergrad in, I even forget what I studied. I did screen production and I did economics, and I was doing information systems for a bit, but then I dropped it because I went into screen production and the classes didn't balance out. And then after that, I have my master's, I have an MBA, and I also did an MFA in film and TV producing. And it was that thing. It was like, do whatever, but do it to your fullest capacity. So that's something that I will definitely like pass on to other kids. This is like, whatever you want to do, just excel. And this is the thing, it'll help you filter out what you actually want to do. Because if you don't like the thing you're doing, it's very hard to excel at it. Do you know what I mean? Or do really well, or to like stick through with it. Do you know what I mean? Or learn to be better at it. So I think that's definitely one thing that I would take from my parents. Another thing as well is to keep kids being kids for as long as you can. Now, if my parents are listening to this, I'm 25 years old. This no longer applies to me. I beg, please. But, like, I think they did a really good job of preserving our innocence as children. Like, there's a lot of things we didn't know about the realities of life, as far as like, what do things cost, how are school fees handled, what is a mortgage, like, obviously you'll learn these things as you grow up and you need to know them, but our childhoods, like, my dad always used to say, your job is to be a kid, your job is to go to school and get good grades. Like, my focus in life was just to get good grades and do whatever extramurals I was doing well. And I think that allows you a lot of room to dream, and it allows you a lot of room to just play,
Yeah.
And I think that's definitely something that I would want for my kids as well.
Yeah.
It's just like, just be a kid. I don't want you to be stressed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's, yeah. I think that, and I think you can kind of, even in the conversation we are having now about our childhoods, you can kind of see how that's influenced our careers and what we've chosen to do, because what we've chosen to do is very audacious. Do you know what I mean? Like, any sort of creative work is such a big gamble. It's here or there, and like, even like, you kind of have to hedge your bets, like, I do creative stuff, but I also work in project management. Like, I'm constantly hedging my bets, and that's what you have to do. And I think if we were raised by people who didn't let us dream, who didn't let us play, who didn't let us roam, you would have probably still been in law school. I probably would have been a doctor. Do you know what I mean? So,
yeah. No, I'm grateful for that. Even though I think my parents could have, from a young age, been more, I don't know, been more supportive of my creativity. Because there's pictures of me, like, drawing, making sculptures out of nothing at, like, the age of 3. So it's like, it's always been there, but I think my parents always also safety and money and being well off was important for me and Sahan to have. So I think they kind of didn't think that would exist in creativity.
Which a lot of our parents did.
Yeah, a lot of like minority parents like think like that, because it's like, we're not Sarah Oakland or whatever.
Who's Sarah Oakland?
Sarah Oakland.
Why is she catching strays?
I just made that up. We're not Sarah Oakland, who comes from years of
generations and generations
of white privilege.
Because even like, I must say, like, even our well off, like, African or other minority parents, even the ones who are well off, are still under this, like, I see it in certain social circles, like, people's parents who are still under this guise of, like, you have to be a doctor, lawyer, engineer, and I'm like,
no, literally.
Bro, like, didn't you make all this money so your kids can figure themselves out?
I don't want my child to be a creative.
No, that's so
Go become a doctor, or go become a business person.
Why don't you want your kids to become a creative? Stress.
It's enjoyable, I'm not gonna lie.
I don't mind if my kid becomes a creative. I just hope that they are also a hard worker, and I hope that they also like nice things, because liking nice things will make you work hard to take care of yourself. That's the thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, and that's the difference between someone who sits at home and writes maybe one paragraph a day and is like, one day I'm going to be a published author. I'm not going to be a parent that allows that. I'm so sorry. Like, what are you doing today to like work towards feeding yourself, to work towards like building a life for yourself? Do you know what I mean? Like, so I'm like, I don't get mind to do, but I think for me it's like, what is your character, and do you have the drive to do what it is, or like to have some sort of backup plan, or not even backup plan, but to be able to sustain yourself in a way.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's also tricky trying to like think of what I would advise a kid, because I'm still a kid, so I don't know what I would tell that kid.
100%.
I just would hope that I raise someone who knows how to work bloody hard.
Oh, and you will. But speaking about like raising kids, what are some things that your parents kind of like did that you wouldn't kind of like pass on to the next generation, and you kind of would do it differently in a way? Because generations change, like time changes, things differ. I think time is a big thing when it comes to raising kids, because back in the day our parents would do things differently and their parents would do things differently, but it's like, what would we do? If there was one thing that you could change.
I think for me, I'm trying to word this. I know what I want to say, but I'm trying to word this.
Auntie's watching.
I know. I'm like, hey, my parents watching. I'm like, what's she gonna say? I don't know if it's just my parents or if it's a South African parent thing or even an African parent thing, but there's this tendency to not want to explain things to kids because they don't feel like they owe kids an explanation. Which I get at a certain stage of life. But I think if there's one thing that I would do differently, it's just like, I don't know, man, like, humor your kids a bit more when they ask you why you don't want them to do things or why you've come to a decision that you have come to, even if you feel like you don't have to explain it to them. I think having that extra degree of, like, I guess, patience with that kid. And I say this because, like, I think sometimes, like, at least my parents, I don't know other people's African parents, or at least when I was younger, they're fine. Like, they became better at this when I became older. But like when I was younger, like, it'd be like, oh, I want to go somewhere, and I'd be like, no, and be like, why? It's like, I don't like you doing this, and it's like, okay, but
What is
like, you know what I mean? And especially because, like, I'm such a rationalized person that if you say I don't want you to go out in the evenings because it's unsafe, then I'll be like, okay, cool, so let me try and prove safety. Here's my location, you can track me, I'm going to be with this adult, I'm going to be with this, so I'm going to try solve all these things. But if you don't, like, let me and, like, tell me how this is still not enough, then I'm just going to be really frustrated, and then I'm just going to be like, you just don't understand me, or you don't, you know what I mean? And I feel like that's something I would want to try do differently, is maybe
explain to your kids.
explain things a bit more. Like, I understand that at the end of the day, your parents have reverence in the household and you have to respect them, but it would be easier to, I guess, in a way, submit to certain disciplines that you understood where they were coming from. And in growing older, I started to understand where they were coming from. But when I was younger, I was like, yo, wildin', like, you're being dramatic, you know? But so, and I obviously can't explain things to a 4-year-old, but I think you can, to some degree, start to explain things to a 12-year-old, to a 13, 14, 15. And I think it is in that phase of life, maybe, that I'm like, I probably would have appreciated a little bit more, let's have a conversation versus no.
Yeah. No, I get that. 100%. I think. Yeah, my mum would explain things. My dad wouldn't.
And yeah, I was also gonna say I probably should have differentiated that a little bit more as well. To be like, I think my mom would try explain more. Dad would be like, no.
Yeah.
And like, love you so much, but he's a little bit stubborn. So he'd be like, no.
Yeah, 100%. Or my dad wouldn't explain himself well, and it would just sound rude. Like, but I think one thing I think do differently. It's more something my mum's. Actually, a lot of Iranian, Persian, Middle Eastern, I think, folks do this. Is beauty standards is something that we strive towards, and it's usually like Eurocentric. It's usually very Western. And growing up, I watched a lot of women around me, like, you know, get nose jobs, or like get boob jobs, or like fix things about themselves that they didn't like. And fix, by the way, like in quotations, like and when I was 16, when I was in school, I was like quite heavily bullied. Like my friends, specifically the friendship group that I had, was like, they would call me like parrot nose and stuff like that. Like it's quite traumatic. And that's just like some of it. There's other stuff, but it doesn't relate to what I'm speaking about. And you know, seeing all of my cousins and everyone get nose jobs and stuff, I was like, okay, I want to do it. And I remember saying to my mum, I want to do it. And she was like, okay, yeah, that's fine. It's gonna look really nice. And obviously, like, a lot of my cousins, a lot of my aunties are so for it. And I think that hurt a lot now looking back, because it was only until I went to my first university was when my friend told me, like, you don't need a needle to fix things about yourself. Why are you trying to do that? And I started to find the beauty of what I already have in my art, and I use my art to heal. And then I remember cancelling and not wanting to get a nose job anymore, and not wanting to wax my arm hair or not wanting to get breast reduction and stuff. But what really hurt, I think, when I look at it now, is my mum was really supportive of me getting a nose job. And I don't think there was enough confidence installed in me at a young age that I am beautiful and that I don't need to fix anything about myself. And I wish I don't know, my mum tried her best, but I wish she protected me from people who were trying to make me feel insecure, especially in her family and my dad's side of the family, because I am beautiful the way I am. And I just wish my mum was like, I support you if you want to get a nose job, but just know that your face holds me, and it holds your grandmother, and it holds your whole history and your whole heritage and your whole culture, and you are beautiful. Don't let things outside of you make you feel like you're not, because someone somewhere decided that small noses, like small peachy noses, are the things that you should be like striving towards. Who said that? Who made that up? Why is it that we have to follow that? And I just wish my mom, I think, told me that, or made me think about that, because I think it would have changed my experience today, and my experience specifically in high school. But God bless her soul, like she was also, she's a young mom, like she had me at a young age, like she's also been learning with me, but I just wish I had that. And like sometimes I have a lot of like brothers, and my dad, they'll be like, oh, when you were born you look like E.T., or like sometimes my dad will pick up the phone and he's like, hello ugly, and I'm like, and sometimes he'll say princess, beautiful, but I'm like, pick a side, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I just wish I had more confidence installed in me, and that's something I want to do for my kids, especially if I have a girl. Oh my god, I'm reminding her every day that she's beautiful, every day. And I'll paint her, I'll draw her, I'll put it everywhere. If they're like, look in the mirror, I'll tell her to write notes in the mirror that say, you are beautiful, you are amazing, be confident, don't let other people make you see yourself differently. Like, so many things I wish that is a big thing for me.
I love that. Yeah. I love that. And I'm glad that you will. And I'm glad you have both the room to, observe something that they maybe didn't do really well, but you still have the grace to be like, I can see where you tried, you know what I mean? And I think that's the whole thing about this conversation we're having. It's like, guys, parenting is hard. Parenting is hard. And over and above everything, I think we're both blessed to see that we had like good childhoods and we were raised by loving parents, and we both have really good relationships with our parents. So anything, we critique or everything is like, it's just having an honest conversation more than like trying to like overemphasize one thing over the other. So yeah, man. Shout out to the Rinse. We love you.
Love you.
Well, you have to ask me if you want me to answer first.
Okay.
Do you get what I mean?
How do you think your upbringing and your parents have influenced your dating life? By the way, this was her idea. This question was her idea.
She looks so mad at me.
Go on then.
Why are you so mad? Ooh, so straight. Don't beg me. Deep. Okay. I think first and foremost, like, one thing about my mom, I have never witnessed her begazella. Begazella means to withstand hardship. To begazella is to persist despite like difficult circumstances, and unfortunately, it's commonly used at home to describe when women take a lot of crap and still persist in their romantic relationships. I have never witnessed that a day in my life. I've never witnessed her really like allowing herself to be inconvenienced, really and truly. And my dad adores the woman, you know what I mean? So I think how that's influenced my dating life is I have a very low threshold for
bullshit.
Exactly. Exactly. I have a very low threshold for it because I don't have a perception that love requires like that kind of hardship. Love does have hardship, like getting to know another person, compromising, etc. But it doesn't have that one. It doesn't have suffering. It doesn't have abuse. It doesn't have punishment. It doesn't. You know what I mean? Like I didn't see this. So, and I also again like also seeing the way that my dad loves my mom has very positively impacted what standards I have for myself in dating. As far as like how I want to be treated, what does it mean to feel safe? What does it mean to be taken care of in every way? Don't just hear money when I say taken care of. I mean like emotionally, having someone that like can really be, our pastor, the pastor of the church that I go to here defines friendship as your heart's resting place. And I think that's such a beautiful definition of it. And I think it extends to romantic relationships as well, because your partner should be your friend. And that's what I mean by like being taken care of and being secure. It's like having your heart's resting place in a human being is like been my perception of it. Do you know what I mean? Also, like, my dad loves bragging about my mother. To this day, he'll be like, I'll put subtitles for you guys. It pretty much means like, look at how beautiful my wife is. And my siblings and I would be like, okay, we are aware. She's stunning. My mom is stunning. We are aware. Congratulations.
She's beautiful.
But just funny things like that like I grew up with have again shaped my perception of what it means to be loved and to be adored as a woman. Do you know what I mean? So very much so positively impacted it in that way. But yeah, I was gonna say, I think that I'm gonna stick it there. I must say though, like, we didn't have a lot of dating conversations growing up.
Yeah, me neither.
To be honest. So it is just their luck that they happened to exemplify positively and that's what I took in my dating, because we didn't really talk about it, you know what I mean? We didn't have a conversation on like what happens at a first date, what, you know what I mean? Like, I'll never forget this moment in my life where my parents surprised me in Cape Town during like a Valentine's Day weekend. Hey God. And I was in a relationship at the time, and the part that I'm going to bring up about this is basically because it was Valentine's Day weekend, I had to split up my time between them, and basically that weekend forced me to tell my parents about the fact that I was dating and like seriously dating at the time. And I was with my parents in their hotel room, but I was about to go out with my then boyfriend. And it was so funny because my parents I've never gotten ready for a date with my parents there, ever, okay? It's just never happened. And now my dad's like, do you have money? Are you okay? You know? And I'm like, this man doesn't know what to say to me.
Hello.
It was so funny. And my mom was just like, oh, you look pretty. And I'm like, this is so funny, guys.
Did you
like,
feel uncomfortable?
Yes, I did.
I would feel uncomfortable. I'd be like,
I was like, I felt like I was doing
deceiving
something
me.
naughty, even though they knew exactly where I was going. I was like, because I'm like, in their minds, I'm sure they're like, I can't believe we're letting her leave this room right now and she's going to be with a boy for the night. I'm sure they were stressed. But I also came back within reasonable time and everything. But yeah, it was a very funny memory I have. So as far as how parents have impacted dating, I think mine chose to sort of be an example more than have conversations. And I feel like now, at least the older I grow especially, I think there's more room for me to want to have more conversations. You know, like I feel like we need to figure out how that goes, because we can't grow up under the guise that like you are not doing anything and then suddenly you're getting married. Like when do we find the husbands, guys? When along the way? But what about you? How do you think your parents have influenced your dating life?
not in the best way. So love my dad. But growing up with, three brothers and a really interesting personality of a dad, I genuinely dislike men. And I know you guys know I dislike men so much. So it's influenced me to hate men.
Well,
But I am trying my best. I have gone on dates with men, by the way, just to let you guys know. I am trying my best. I am also trying to give the chance to my mother that I might be with a man. I know that she really wants that. So I'm trying to give her, 50-50.
50-50. You don't know.
You don't know. But what I'm saying is that, like, we didn't have conversations growing up. My mom, again, my mom grew up in, a Muslim household. She got married at a young age. She didn't give the best advice. The only thing she told me is that no one wants to put their finger in honey that's had finger dipped in it before. What are you clapping? Why are you
Because that's a
clapping
metaphor.
for? Why are you
She was
clapping for?
creative.
That's a traumatic thing. That's why I never wanted to. I was like, oh my god.
I'm screaming. I know. It is problematic. It's very what do you call it? Sex shaming. What's
It's
slut shaming? There we
no,
go.
it's like
It's a
shaming.
euphemistic way to slut shame.
Yeah, and I was like, damn, mom. Or like, it just made me. But at the same time, she would tell me things. I'm like, mom, I want to be like you. I just want to find one person and be with them for the rest of my life. And she started laughing. She's like, no, darling, you're going to have to date. And then I was like, then what are you talking about, honey? And I think she was like also growing up, so I didn't get the best advice. I just had to like learn for myself. And still, I'm 27 and I haven't been in a full relationship at all. And I think it's because, growing up and seeing how my dad's personality was quite difficult to manage, it just kind of made me want to step away from men and kind of step away from relationships. I didn't want to put myself through what other women have been through. So I think it's done more harm than good. But one good thing I would say is my mum is the same. My mum, like, she loves my dad and she has put a lot of effort in to grow with my dad, but she does put her foot down and when she needs to. And she always reminds me and she always tells me, she was like, I know I'm pretty, I know I'm beautiful.
There we go.
And she's like, I know she was like, I know your dad knows that. So he's going to behave.
Thank you so much.
So
it's real strict around here.
Yeah.
We love strict women.
And my mom, my mom's stunning. She's full of life. Like, she's a hardworking queen, and she has the best heart. So, men need to be careful because when I bring her here. I swear, men, women, everybody.
Paparazzi.
Can I? Some guy came up to my mom and tried to give his number to my mom. My mom was like, I'm married, thank you. But I was like, yeah. But I'm saying is that she's taught me that, like, you try your best to make things work, but just know that you are the prize. And
we love strict women. And I'm sure there's things that our moms have gone through in dating or with men that we don't see, and I'm sure they have gone through hard times, or maybe do you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure it has existed. Just because I haven't seen much of it doesn't mean it hasn't existed. That I'm sure my mother's gone through hard times, but it's just like, it's what they choose to emphasize when they're speaking with us. If you choose to emphasize, if you put your foot down as a woman when things aren't going your way, if you don't like how you're being treated by a certain man in your life, your kids see that. And they see the agency that you have in your relationship and see that that's what they should. If you walk away from situations that don't serve you, your kids see that and see that as an option. If you stay, but you stay under certain conditions, your kids see that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like kids pay more attention than parents think we do. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, it definitely impacts your perception of growing up. And I'm glad that, like, obviously, despite that, like, the complications that, like, the men in your life had brought, your mom was like, you also don't, like, you are the prize. Do you know what I mean?
Actually, yeah.
You don't have to take anything you don't want to have to take.
100%.
Okay, well, what have you been watching this week?
Oh my god, actually, perfectly it ties in. I watched a film last week with Ida, actually, and it was called If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. It's an A24 film. Also 2 a.m, I think, as well, production as well. But I watched it and it was about a mother who was basically trying her best to manage her daughter's health situation, having the house like be damaged and having to live in a motel, and then trying to be a woman and get things done. And she would have crash outs every day, like drinking wine, like $5 wine, and smoking weed, and she'd have to like manage, bless her daughter. And what I loved about this film is that you wouldn't see the kid until the end. You only saw the mum's face. Like, other people in the stories weren't shown as much as the mother, the protagonist. And even though she was chaotic, like, I was like, damn, she's just a girl. Like, she's just trying her best to manage. And her husband was a pilot, so he was always traveling, and he had a day off in one of the countries, and he was watching a baseball game whilst she was driving her daughter to the hospital. And she was like, well, that must be fucking nice. Like, well, you're like having a day off. I don't get a day off. And you're here judging me. And the whole film is about her therapist, like her husband, her like I don't know, people she goes to work with, everyone just like reminding her that she's not a good mom, but really she is a good mom.
Oh, that's hard.
And like it was so difficult. A lot of people didn't like the film, but I really, really liked it. It was quite gruesome at certain parts.
I'm so
But it
like
was nice.
fascinated that this is your like review of it, because I watched the trailer before you guys went when you told me about it. That is not the perception I got of it at all. It looks like a thriller in its trailer.
You don't know what it is when you go into it, and that's what I loved about it.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was so good. Like, it was
Love that.
funny, and like, it's funny. I don't know if you want to watch it. If I should tell.
Yeah, maybe don't spoil it. I'll watch
Okay,
it.
I don't want to spoil it, but there's things that are revealed. The more and you're like, oh my god, wait, what? She's this. She's that. I didn't even know that she was doing this. Like, it's hilarious. But that's what I've been watching this week. That film.
Lovely.
Yeah. What about you?
I finally finished Adulting.
Oh my god, was it good? Was the ending good?
No, I don't like the ending. Okay, like, it resolved a lot of its threads, which I'm like, fair enough, the show is over. Okay, fine. But I feel like it rushed its ending, and like the time jumps were a bit dramatic for me.
Oh no.
I also don't love that like the show started with these men in the club popping bottles, and it started the trouble, and it ends with them in the club popping bottles, and I'm like, one of you is a dad. Like, you have a 3-month-old. What are you doing in the club? Like,
Who has a 3-month-old?
Go home. Bonga now has a kid. The wife, they finally had a kid.
God.
And I'm like,
He got what he's wanted. He's celebrating.
I guess, but I'm also like, so like, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about whether I feel like the characters grew enough in the show. I'm not sure. I think they did, but I was entertained. So it is what it is. Yeah,
Amazing.
that's pretty much
Wow.
it, darling.
Well, that brings us to the end of this episode, episode
Yeah.
4. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. I hope you enjoyed our special guests. Borna.
Joas.
No, Borna. What was my name? I forgot my name already, guys.
See, I remember mine, and she was roasting me for not having a character background and story, like we're in
Babak!
drama class.
Babak and what?
Joas.
Joas. Babak and Joas.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you
We
for
love you
watching
all.
another episode.
Subscribe.
Yeah.
Comment.
Yes. Share the episode.
Like. Yes.
Like that one. If you're listening to us on Spotify, follow the show. Leave us a little rating, a little 5 stars if you enjoy.
Follow us on social media.
Yes, follow
TikTok.
us on social media. We've got
all of that
TikTok,
good
we've got
stuff.
Instagram. Interact with us there. And we'll see you in the next one.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
I need doctor actually.
Brain. Yeah.
Mashallah. You know, my wife actually has problem with brain.
What's her problem?
She talk too much.
Wait. My friend, I don't think that's a disease. I think that's just being a woman.
No. She talk too much.
No.
I think
Woman.
there's something in the left part.
Woman just yep.
No, in the left
They're
part.
not like you and me, my friend. You and me, my friend, we just sit here.
Be relaxed.